Breaking news here on Dolphins Today. The Miami Dolphins have cut 12 players. That includes running back Sony Michel, a stunning move that the Dolphins have made this afternoon, about 24 hours until the NFL 53-man roster deadline. Let's break down all the moves the Dolphins have made today. They have cut Gerrid Doaks, Mohamed Sanu, Adam Pankey, Calvin Munson to the IR, so he did not officially get cut, but he's out for the year. Blaise Andries, Darius Hodge, Sony Michel, by far the most shocking move that the Dolphins have made here today. They also have let Quincy Wilson go, Owen Carney Jr., Elijah Hamilton, Niles Scott, ZaQuandre White. I know a lot of y'all are going to be disappointed about that, and they have waived/injured D'Angelo Ross. But Michel, definitely the most notable name that has been cut by the Dolphins today. I was shocked. I thought he was a lock to make this football team. He signed a one-year deal with the Fins on May 10th. When he signed that deal, I thought he was going to compete with Raheem Mostert for the RB2 job. 9 carries, 13 yards this preseason. Really just did not do anything impressive in the preseason. Didn't look great at training camp either. Cut by the Miami Dolphins today. How shocked are you by this news that Sony Michel has been cut? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. He was expected to be a lock to make this football team. I thought he was going to be RB3, but he is gone. Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. How surprised are you by this news? Gerrid Doaks, another running back that has been cut, a 7th-round pick out of Cincinnati in 2021, 11 carries for 67 yards on Saturday against the Eagles. A lot of people thought after that game that maybe he had an outside chance to make it, but he gets cut, Michel gets cut, and ZaQuandre White gets cut, which means we're down to 4 running backs on this football team, and I fully expect this to be the 4 that suit up for the Dolphins in Week 1 against New England. Now, sure, it's possible that they'll just carry 3 running backs on the 53-man with Mostert's injury history, with what McDaniel likes to do on offense. I don't think that's very realistic. So this is great news for Myles Gaskin and Salvon Ahmed. And for Gaskin especially, I'm really happy for him. After the Dolphins signed 3 running backs in free agency, Edmonds, Mostert, and Michel, I thought Gaskin was going to be on his way out, maybe get cut, maybe get traded, but Gaskin, I believe, deserves another year in this Dolphins offense with what's hopefully an improved offensive line. I'm excited to see what Myles can do this season, as well as Salvon Ahmed. Mohamed Sanu, another notable name that has been let go today. An NFL vet that signed with the Dolphins right before training camp, but there was just way too much depth at the wide receiver position for him to make this football team. Let's take a look at the updated wide receiver depth chart. The Dolphins are probably going to carry 6 wide receivers on the 53-man. Again, we will find out which 53 make this team tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Tyreek, Waddle, Ezukanma, Sherfield are the 5 locks. And then you look at some other guys that are competing for spots. Cracraft and Lynn Jr., the final spot on this football team, at least at the wide receiver position, might come down between those 2. Cracraft was very good in the preseason finale, 4 receptions with a touchdown. Lynn Jr. also a touchdown. I believe the final spot's going to come down between those 2. Also worth noting that Darius Hodge has been let go. He looked pretty good in the preseason. 3 tackles, a sack. However, the team really liked what he did in camp. They expect to keep him on the practice squad if he clears waivers. And, folks, this is why you subscribe, because we're bringing you guys Dolphins news, Dolphins rumors. If Dolphins news breaks, we get you guys a video ASAP. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button. Also wanted to hit on this. Barry Jackson reported this earlier this afternoon. It's a new cut. Tom Pelissero reported that. Per source, Dolphins continue efforts to trade Preston Williams. So the Dolphins know that Preston Williams is not going to make this football team. To be honest, I don't even think it's going to be close. Cracraft, Lynn Jr., Trent Sherfield, all far better options. Williams is going to get cut if he doesn't get traded. That's why the Dolphins are making a lot of efforts today to try to move Williams. Neil Driscoll reported this. keep an eye on Baltimore and Chicago. Tevin Jenkins, give me Tevin Jenkins for Preston Williams, man. Let's make that happen with the Bears. Will Preston Williams get traded? Type T for traded or type W for won't down in the comments section. What do you think is going to happen here in the next 24 hours? Because if he doesn't get cut, he's probably going to get traded and vice versa. So go down, type T for traded or type W for won't. I think any chance of making this football team slip through his hands quite literally as he muffed that punt return the other night. So go down, chime in. So NFL teams must cut their rosters down to 53 players by tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. So the Dolphins have about 24 hours here to get things figured out. And by my calculation, 13 down, 15 to go. Now, that might change if Byron Jones does not get activated from the PUP list. If that happens, that might open up another roster spot. Maybe you see another DB make this football team. But right now, it appears that they have let go of 13 players. They got to get rid of 15 more by tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And with that deadline fast approaching, I did want to get you guys a final Dolphins 53-man roster projection video. So I'm going to go numerically here, talking about 1 through 53. Which guys are going to make this 53-man roster? Here is what I have. In terms of quarterbacks, it's obviously going to be Tua Tagovailoa QB1, Teddy Bridgewater QB2, Skylar Thompson QB3. And they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. That's not something that I was expecting at the start of camp, but that certainly appears to be the plan right now, and it should be because Skylar Thompson is a lock to make this football team. An absolute lock. You cannot let this guy get away. Skylar Thompson's going to make the 53-man roster, probably the MVP of the NFL preseason, not just on the Dolphins. I'm talking about the entire league. That's how phenomenal Skylar Thompson was. Moving on to the running back situation. So this obviously changes after Sony Michel has been let go. So Edmonds, Mostert, Gaskin, Ahmed going to be the 4 running backs that make this football team. You can lock that in at this point, with Alec Ingold being the starting fullback on this football team. Moving on to the wide receiver position. Yes, I have River Cracraft making this football team over Lynn Bowden Jr. I'm hopeful they will find a way to keep both, but I look at what Cracraft did in the preseason. He outperformed Bowden. That's not taking anything away from what Lynn did. Lynn was impressive, had that touchdown reception on Saturday. Cracraft has been better. He has a lot of familiarity with Mike McDaniel as well. That's worth noting here is the Dolphins are probably going to carry 6 wide receivers: Hill, Waddle, Wilson, Sherfield, Ezukanma, River Cracraft. Moving on to the tight ends, I think this is going to be a pretty easy decision for this football team. Gesicki, Smythe, and Long. I've seen a lot of roster projections that have them carrying Seath and Carter as well, but I think Carter is going to get cut. I have Gesicki, Smythe, and Long as the 3 making this football team. Moving on to the offensive line. In my last roster projection video, I had 10 offensive linemen making this team. Now I just have 8. I believe that Greg Little has beaten out Larnell Coleman for the backup tackle job. Armstead, Eichenberg, Williams, Jones, Jackson, Kinley, and Dieter make this football team. But the Dolphins just don't have a lot of depth at this position, which is a little bit alarming. Yes, I think Cal Deesh is going to get cut. He shouldn't get cut. I really like Deesh, but just based on what I'm seeing, I do believe that Deesh is going to get cut. But letting Deesh go would be a huge mistake. I do believe that he would get claimed by another team off waivers. I mean, yeah, he was a UDFA, but he was a projected 4th-round pick, arguably the best undrafted free agent in the entire league. Blocked really well, by the way, in his 17 snaps. Had a really high PFF grade against the Eagles. Letting him go would be a mistake, but I do think that's expected at this point. What did I miss on offense? Go down in the comments section, chime in. What did I miss on offense? Who do I have making this football team that you think won't make the team? Vice versa. Go down, give me some feedback in the comments section. Let's go to the defense now. Defensive line, here's what I got. Agba, Davis, Wilkins, Porter Gustin is going to make this football team. He might be the last guy in, but Porter's looked way too good in the preseason to get cut. I think it's a possibility. The signing of Trey Flowers doesn't bode super great for his chances, but I think he gets one of the final nods in terms of getting on the 53. Sealer and then Benito Jones also makes this football team. I believe he's going to beat out John Jenkins for the backup nose tackle spot. Moving on to the corners, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones. Again, Jones has to get off the PUP list by tomorrow or else he's going to miss the first several games of the year. Nick Needham, Keon Crossan. I do believe Noah Igbenogany is going to make this team. Kader Kohou, though, will make this team as the sixth corner. Barry Jackson reported moments ago that the team really likes him, that it would be a surprise at this point if he gets let go. I love Kader Kohou. He's looked spectacular, the UDFA out of A&M Commerce. Will Kader Kohou make the team? Type M for make or type W for won't. Down in the comment section, go down, chime in. Before we get into more roster projections, I did want to tell you about our friends over at BetUS because now is the best time to set up an account with them. We're 2 weeks from the regular season. Chatsports.com/bet. If you go to that link and type in that promo code, Dolphins125, you can get a 125% deposit bonus. Dolphins and Pats coming up on September 11th. That's going to be a lot of fun. I got to crack two eggs over my head because we got over $1,000 in Super Chats during our live stream the other night. But the Dolphins are a 3-point favorite, the total at 45.5. Go and place your bets on the Fins. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125 at BetUS. Moving on to the safeties. This was a tough one, but for me, I got Holland, Jones, Eric Rowe. They're the three locks, obviously. I also have Verone McKinley III, a UDFA out of Oregon, making the team over Clayton Fagellum. I do believe McKinley is going to make this team. He is very, very good. I'm going to be upset if he gets cut. Moving on to the linebackers. This was also kind of a tough call for me, but I got JP, Roberts, Baker, Ingram, AVG, Tyndall, Duke Riley, and Cameron Good. Cameron Good getting the final nod here at the linebacker position. A 7th-round pick out of Cal. He beats out Brennan Scarlett and Sam McGuavin for the job. Now, Guavin did look good in the preseason finale, picked up a sack, but too little, too late for Sam McGuavin. Cameron Good has looked more consistent in camp and in preseason games. Obviously, the roster will finalize like this with the special teams. Jason Sanders, Thomas Morstead, Blake Ferguson, 51, 52, and 53 on my projected 53-man roster for the Miami Dolphins. Again, they have until tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time to finalize that roster. Be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything, because the second that roster gets finalized, we're going to get you guys a video here at Chat Sports. Thanks for watching this edition of Dolphins Today. This has been your boy, Willie Fins. Talk to you again tomorrow.